It's the month of May, and what a great month to make strawberry jam. You know, the month of May is a month that we see a lot of strawberry crops come in. So it's a great time to learn. If you've never learned how to can, strawberry jam is one of the easier recipes that you can do. So come along with me and we're going to learn how. Before we get started, let's look at all the supplies that we're going to need to make our strawberry jam. You're going to need There are 4 more items that are very helpful to you when making any kind of canned product. One is your funnel that would go to the top of the jar, and that just kind of helps you with cleanup and to be a little bit neater as you go. A jar lifter, and this is for safety purposes to keep you from getting burned while lowering your jars down into the canner or taking them out. A spatula can be used around the edges of the jar once the product is inside, and it just helps to get the air bubbles out for the finished product. And also this little magnet that you see on the bottom of this little plastic stick is very helpful to lift your jar lids out of boiling water when they're being sterilized. It just keeps you from having to put your fingers down in the water. It's just really convenient to have one of those. So these are all really useful tools to have and are very inexpensive at your local store. One thing that will make your job a little bit more helpful and faster is if you will go ahead and get your water bath canner on the stove with enough water to cover over 2 inches of your jars. Go ahead and get that water started heating up while you're preparing your strawberries. And you can also go ahead and put in your jars, your half-pint jars that are going to be used for your jelly. This will sterilize the jars so they'll be ready when you're ready to put your jam inside. So we'll work on that while we go crush our strawberries. Don't forget that you need to get out a small pan and put your screw bands and your rubber seal lids in a pan to simmer while you're preparing your strawberry jam. Next, we're going to take 5½ cups of our crushed strawberries and put in a saucepan. Then you're going to pour in your powdered pectin, and then you're going to stir. Put it on high heat, stir constantly, and bring quickly to a full boil. We're boiling this on high heat. Once it has come to a full boil, you will then add the sugar. We've added 8 cups of sugar to this mixture. We're going to stir well and heat again to a full boiling boil. Once this comes to a full boil, you want to boil hard for 1 minute, stirring constantly. Next, we're going to skim the foam off of the top. And this is primarily just for the appearance. Next, we're going to take our hot strawberry jam and ladle that into our sterilized glass jars. It's really good to use one of these funnels. They're really expensive to buy. It just makes the process a whole lot less messy on you, saves you some time on the cleanup. You're going to fill these jars to within 1/4 of an inch of the top of the jar. Before we apply the lids, take a wet paper towel or a wet dish rag and go around the edges of the top of your jar just to remove any jam that might have got on top. This will help it seal better. Next, you're going to take your screw band and just gently tighten it. Take your jar lifter, lift your jar, and we're going to put it down in our water bath canner. Once the water comes to a boil, put on the lid, process for 5 minutes. If you have a high altitude, see the recipe. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel to get more great canning videos.